Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out to watch the videos. I appreciate all the support you're showing the content. It certainly does not go unnoticed. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss in today's video. So before we dive into these topics, do me a favor and hit the like button to help the video out and show it your support. It helps more than you know. And if you are new here to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. The first topic we're going over is Sony officially revealing the design for PlayStation VR 2, or the final design, because the controllers actually look a little bit different than what we saw originally. But we also have the final design of the headset itself. And a lot of people are kind of surprised that Sony decided to reveal the final design of PlayStation VR 2 this way, because many people believe that this was something that would be reserved for an event or something like that. And I have to admit, it's a little bit surprising to me as well, but it does indicate that PSVR 2 is seemingly on track to release this year. So we're going to go over a little bit of the information here regarding what they're telling us about the design of PlayStation VR 2 and some of the things you're going to want to know about it. But it's worth noting that we did not get the release date, obviously, and we also didn't get the pricing of the headset yet. But this is reading from PlayStation Universe. They say Sony Interactive Entertainment has officially unveiled the PSVR 2 design, which plucks inspiration from the PS5 family of products and matches the orb aesthetic seen in the PlayStation VR 2 Sense controller. Much like the PS5 DualSense controller, the PSVR 2 headset design features tiny PlayStation symbols to the front and back bands of the headset. So I think that's pretty cool. If you don't know, with the DualSense controllers, if you look close enough, the pattern on the controller is actually very, very tiny PlayStation symbols. But we have Yujin Morisawa, Sony Interactive Entertainment's senior art director, commenting on the design of the PlayStation VR headset and giving us a little bit of insight. And he says, when I started to work on the design for the PlayStation VR 2 headset, one of the areas I wanted to focus on first was the idea of creating a vent in the headset to let air out, similar to the vents on the PS5 console that allows airflow. Our engineers came up with this idea as a good way to allow ventilation and avoid having the lens fog up while players are immersed in their VR games. I worked on many design concepts to achieve this, and in the final design, you can see there is a little space between the top and front surface of the scope that contains the integrated ventilation. I am really proud of how this turned out and the positive feedback I've gotten so far. I hope our PlayStation fans will also agree, and I can't wait for them to try it out. Sony's PlayStation blog post reveals that the design team behind the PS5 made the console with the next-gen VR headset in mind, hence similarities in its look and feel. However, there's a more emphasis on roundness to the PSVR 2 design, echoing the edges of the DualSense and the Pulse 3D headset. Our goal is to create a headset that will not only become an attractive part of your living room decor, but will also keep you immersed in your game world to the point where you almost forget you are using a headset or controller. So yeah, this is what we're hearing about PSVR 2, and we also have Nibelian over on Twitter kind of just giving us a quick rundown of some of PlayStation VR 2's details, specifically with the headset. There's a focus on ergonomics and comfort, an adjustable headband, adjustable scope and headphone jack at the same spot as PSVR 1, new lens adjustment dial, less weight, slimmer. I think that's a big one for a lot of people. New built-in motor, new vent, helps lens to avoid fog, which is what we just talked about. So yeah, all in all, it seems like PlayStation VR 2 is living up to the promise of really being a substantial leap forward when it comes to what PSVR was compared to what PSVR 2 is going to be. And that's one of the things that Sony did emphasize in this blog post, is how this really is like a big leap forward. I think maybe bigger than maybe some people were anticipating, or at the very least, it will meet the expectation of most people. So before I move on to the next topic, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think of the design of PlayStation VR 2 in its entirety, looking at the headset and the final design of the controllers. Do you like it, or do you not like it, or are you just kind of in the middle on it? My personal opinion, I think it looks great. I think that it certainly does match well with the PS5, and it makes sense that it would. And so yeah, overall, I think it looks pretty good, and I'm really looking forward to, you know, trying it out for myself. So leave your thoughts down below. Next up, we're talking about something very interesting that may let us know there's going to be a big announcement from Sony in the not too distant future. Now, obviously, I feel like we can say that at any time, and it could be true, but this seems to indicate that Spartacus will be revealed in the, it could be coming weeks, but certainly the coming months. We have an article here from Push Square where the title reads, Sony goes Game Pass by putting Shadow Warrior 3 on PlayStation Now at launch. So it says here that Shadow Warrior 3 is looking like a good time, isn't it? Like a fantasy-tinged spin on shooters like Doom. This PlayStation 4 title is lighting up Sony's console very soon on March 1st. Furthermore, in a move that we are fairly certain is a first, the game will arrive on PlayStation Now on the very same day. Announced via a new PlayStation blog post, publisher Devolver Digital has revealed that the FPS is releasing on PlayStation Now the very same day as its regular digital PlayStation Store launch. In other words, if you have a PlayStation Now subscription, you won't need to pay any extra to play Shadow Warrior 3 on day one. How very Game Pass. Again, we can't think of another example of this happening before. Plenty of games launch on PlayStation Plus, but as far as we understand, this will be the very first game to launch day and date on PlayStation Now. It's perhaps further indication that Sony is taking steps towards what will become the reported Spartacus. If this is anything to go by, we should expect more PlayStation Now launches in the near future. We just need Sony to make it all official. And so, yeah, that's what I find very interesting about this is I don't recall this ever being a thing. And when I first came across this, I thought at first that Shadow Warrior 3 was launching into PlayStation Plus, but then I realized it's actually PlayStation Now. And that's kind of strange to me because, again, we've seen multiple games launch into PlayStation Plus, and this is the first time we're seeing a game in PlayStation Now. It's definitely strange, and it definitely tells me that something is up, and I really just have to wonder how close we are to the announcement of Spartacus. Now, one thing I want to say when talking about Spartacus is that just like what we saw with PlayStation VR 2, I was under the impression that Sony was going to kind of make a big splash and make a pretty big deal out of the revealing or the unveiling of the PSVR 2 headset, but instead they're like, actually, we're just going to do a blog post. And I think that's fine, maybe in a way that actually does make more sense because they didn't reveal everything, but maybe Spartacus will be announced in a similar way. I think it really depends because what you can see with this, the reason why Push Square is kind of saying this is very similar to Game Pass is because that's one thing that Xbox does for Game Pass somewhat frequently. They try to get, day and date launches into Game Pass. And again, Sony's way of competing with that was by doing it with PlayStation Plus, not PS Now. And this is the first time we're seeing a game launch into PS Now. It tells me that, yeah, Spartacus's reveal is imminent. And so I also just want to say before moving on to the next topic that I kind of would have expected this to go the other way. Right, I kind of would have expected that the announcement of a day and date game like Shadow Warrior 3 would have happened alongside the announcement of Spartacus or after the announcement of Spartacus, not before, because if Sony is planning to retire the PlayStation Now, naming and branding, and it's going to be, whatever this new service is going to be called, presumably going to be called something else, you see what I'm saying? It just seems a little bit backwards, but I don't know. I had to be sure to let you guys know about this because, again, like Push Square is pointing out something that I thought of as well, which is I don't recall Sony doing this for PlayStation Now in the past. And yeah, I think a lot of people are probably going to be happy about this, anybody who's interested in Shadow Warrior. So be sure to let me know your thoughts about that down in the comments below. The next topic we're talking about is the Uncharted movie apparently being labeled a franchise by Sony Pictures, the boss of Sony Pictures, because it was just that successful. So it says here, Tom Rothman, the CEO of Sony Pictures, has labeled the Uncharted movie as a franchise following its strong debut in the US, suggesting that a sequel is all but confirmed at this point. Uncharted was released in US cinemas on February 18th and pulled in a respectable $44 million during its opening weekend, making it the 4th biggest opening for a video game movie in North America. And so this is what Sony Pictures CEO said: with over $100 million in box office worldwide in just one weekend and a 90% positive audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, Uncharted is a new hit movie franchise for the company. Now, that's something I also want to highlight, is that yes, it's true, it has a 90% positive audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which definitely goes against most of the critics. And so it seems that audiences are genuinely enjoying the Uncharted movie. Now, I did just see this movie last night, and it was pretty much exactly what I expected. I was also pleasantly surprised that it wasn't a complete disaster or anything like that, because we have seen that plenty of times in the past. And really, I feel like that's all you can ask for when it comes to video game movies. We've seen just how bad it can be, and we know that most movies don't do any justice to games. And with the Uncharted movie, there were certainly many things left to be desired, but all in all, I did enjoy it, and I just thought, it was a pretty decent movie. So yeah, it seems like we're going to get more Uncharted movies. Let me know if you saw it and if you did, what you thought of it. But the final topic I have for you is just to let you know Elden Ring's preload and release times on PS5 and PS4. And so you can preload the game exactly 48 hours before the game's official release in your region. And the game will release at 12 a.m. local time GMT, 12 a.m. local time Eastern Time on February 25th, 2022, and those on the Pacific Coast will be able to start at 9 p.m. PT on February 24th, 2022. So yeah, Elden Ring is coming out in just a couple of days, and I'm sure many of you are looking forward to it. So if you are, be sure to preload it. But one final note I have here before ending the video is the official Elden Ring Twitter account put out greetings tarnished with the release of Elden Ring promptly approaching. Please be mindful of spoilers for those who wish to experience the lands between for the first time with unclouded eyes. Thank you for your kind cooperation. And this is essentially the official Elden Ring account just letting people know that, there are copies of the game out there. There will be people who are trying to spoil things, and they're asking them to just please be respectful of the fact that nobody else really has this game yet, and try not to ruin it for them. And so yeah, I thought that was something that was worth sharing with you guys as well. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Be sure to leave it a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.